What's going on, people? Another great day in the taxi guys world, mind you. Little game review. Since YouTube is so anal about copyright. This game. I kind of heard how bad it was, and I'm thinking, okay, how bad could it really be? Because you gotta understand, a guy like me, okay, has been playing games forever. Since, like, Atari NES. We're talking that far back. For those of you younger viewers that are viewing my channel. So, this game right here, Skull Island, Rise of Khan, as you can obviously see. Now, is that game bad? Yes, it's bad. Now, is it unplayable and offensively bad? No. One thing I will say, from the little time I've played it, the graphics are freaking god-awful. Yes, compared to today and modern games, the graphics should be superb. Like the best they've ever been, right? That game looks like a PS2 game, okay? Which is okay. I mean, if that game would have came out 20 years ago, hence, this game right here is almost 20 years old already, if you can believe it. Compared to that game, yeah, not even close. You can't even put it in the same category. But here's my problem. And I really didn't want this to be a rant video, but it kind of is. Because you know why we're getting garbage like that and it's selling? You can thank the noobs in this generation that accept bad games. Guys my age, no, we don't accept that shit. But the problem is, we're heavily outnumbered. Guys my age are heavily outnumbered by these new kids nowadays that think the games like Fortnite and The Last of Us are great games. And they're not. They're trash. But you can't tell that to a 14-year-old right now. Because it's all they know. In their defense, it's all they know. They don't. I mean, if I showed them the gun from Super Mario Brothers Duck Hunt, they'd probably laugh at me and say, "What the hell's that for? Change oil?" You know what I'm saying? Now, I'll tell you a bad game. This game, Ride to Hell Retribution. But I will say one thing. That game is so bad that it's actually funny. It's actually entertaining to play because it's so bad that it's hilarious, if that makes any sense. It's kind of like Patrick from SpongeBob. He's so stupid, he's funny. This game is so bad, the Ride to Hell Retribution, is so bad that it's funny. You know what I mean? So there is some entertainment there. But this thing... This is a prime example of a game that should have never been made. It's a prime example of what gaming has become. Because, first of all, let's just get it on the table. That game, I am so sick and tired of hearing about the game The Last of Us. Move on. The game freaking came out 10 years ago. It's like Grand Theft Auto 5. No one gives a shit no more. Yeah, it was cool for the time, but let's move on. It's like Rockstar, they just re-released Red Dead Redemption, which was good, by the way, because the original Red Dead Redemption was good. So, of course, on the newer console, which, by the way, the graphics are really not that much better, but it's still good, and it's still original, and it's still fun to play, because it was a good game when the time it came out in 2010. But The Last of Us is by far, and I mean this wholeheartedly, that game by far is one of the most overhyped, overrated pieces of garbage out there. Because and here's what bothers me, okay? Nothing's about gameplay anymore. Nothing's about, it used to be like graphics. When the graphics first got better, it's graphics. Well, now it still is that way, but now it's about story. Well, it has a great story. Oh, did you see the story? The story's great. Ding! We're playing frickin' PlayStation. You want to watch a good story? Go watch a frickin' movie. I don't play PlayStation for a frickin' story. I play it to play a game. I don't give a shit if it had the shitty ass story out there. If it had great gameplay, who gives a shit? But now it's all story. And by the way, The Last of Us story is cheesy. You could see the ending coming from a mile away. And anybody who has played Days Gone, I'm just using this as an example. Days Gone is a prime example of a game that got flown under the radar when it really shouldn't have. Because if you played Days Gone from start to finish and played the whole game, I won't spoil you with anything if you haven't played it. That game, story-wise, is a million times better than The Last of Us. And the fact that The Last of Us got a sequel is downright pathetic. I'm sorry. Sorry, but not sorry. Here we go again. The Last of Us was a trash game when it first came out. Now it got a story. It got a sequel. And it shouldn't have. But you know why that happens? Like I said, it's because of the noobs today that accept that. You guys accept mediocre games. That's why, that is why these companies keep throwing trash out like this, and everybody just gobbles it right up. Yeah, I know I bought the game, but I paid $20 for it. I'm not stupid enough to pay $50, okay? And when it came out, everybody was kind of, it was kind of an under the radar game, it kind of sneak dropped, whatever. But no, that game is bad, but everybody online saying that it's one of the worst games ever, really? That game I just showed you, Ride to Hell Retribution, that game was unplayable, almost. But like I said, it was so bad it was entertaining. And how about Superman 64? Go play that trash once. That game that game made me want to smash my controller in half. It was literally unplayable. That's a terrible game. So, I know I'm a little vocal, but gaming is kind of, is a passion of mine. I'll be honest with you, even to right now, I care about gaming more than I do football. Seriously. The Last of Us had a great story. No, it didn't. It was a cheesy-ass story, which, by the way, the frickin' controls in The Last of Us, have you tried shooting a gun on that fucker yet? Excuse my language, but, my God. Shooting a gun on The Last of Us you definitely can tell that game was not made to shoot a gun on. And I don't understand how a game like The Last of Us can get popular. It's a freaking mediocre game at best. But these are the same people that play GTA 5 online over and over and over again. Come on, guys, really? You got GTA 5, yeah, it was cool when it first came out, but Rockstar, it's been 10 years. It's a little old. All they do is just keep re-releasing it and re-releasing it. It came out on the PS3, for God's sakes. And PS4, it got remastered. PS5, it got remastered. You know what the remaster is? It's just the same game, repackaged, and on a different system. That's why I won't get a PS5. Because that's all it is. What is the benefit of getting a PS5? Tell me. Graphics? Don't give a shit. What else? And honestly, from what I've seen, if you compare it side by side to a PS4 Pro, it really ain't that much better. Why do you think Sony hasn't closed the chapter on PS4 yet? Because they know. No one's buying a PS5. At least not enough people are buying it to say, hey, we're making enough money here, we don't need to make a PS4 no more. They quit making PS4 right now, I'm telling you, they lose a lot of clientele. So anyway, guys, yeah, Story. Please. What? Gee, did anybody back in my time play a Nintendo 64 game and say, man, that had a great story? No. You want a story? Go watch a frickin' movie. I can tell you a good story. Go watch Rambo. Go watch Goodfellas. Go watch something like that if you want a good story. Casino. God, what else? Flubber. Mrs. Doubtfire. Go watch that shit if you want a good story. Guys like me, no. We play PlayStation to play games. Literally says it in the name, PlayStation. Not movie station, not DVD station, not cinema station. And that's kind of this is for another video, but Sony, you gotta quit making these freaking games like they're cinematic cutscene simulators. And like I say, I like simulator games. Honestly, getting back to that, one more thing I wanted to touch on. The Last of Us, honestly, I'd feel better about myself playing Farming Simulator. At least in that game, you feel like you're accomplishing something. And your brain's actually working. Oh. Anyway, guys. No, Skull Island Rise of Kong. Do you want to play the game? Get it when it's $5. Because it will be. But no, it's a bad game, yes. But, guys, I've played a lot of shitty games. Believe me. And that's not even in the top 5. Not even close. It's bad, but that's it. Alright, guys. Have a good night.